We are live. Hello from Sao Paulo, Brazil. You're in what? You're in California, right?
Yep, Southern California.
Southern California. Fun, fun, fun.
Oh, yes.
So I've been trying to catch up with you for a couple of weeks, but every time I
Yeah.
talk to you, you're like, can't talk, busy, coronavirus shenanigans.
Yeah. That is pretty much my experience. Coronavirus shenanigans. Absolutely.
And just because you work in the healthcare system doesn't mean you don't have time to call me back, send a message, something.
Yeah, but the time difference, though.
Hey, Expat Money Moves, a good buddy of mine out in Colombia, who's got a great channel. Let me see, have you met this guy?
I don't believe so.
Expat Money Moves is a guy that runs a YouTube channel. We had a great conversation about insurance. And yeah, he's that guy. Whenever I refer to an insurance issue, matter of fact, I'll tell everybody his channel so you guys can, let's see, there.
Hey, Raiden, how are you?
Definitely go check this guy out. How safe is your money banking abroad? He did that one last year. What's his most recent one? I hate that picture. He looks like, I don't know, a demon or something. Bogota versus Medellin, Colombia. Cost of living. Yeah, I did one on Brazil. I'm glad to see he did one out there where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Reigning woman.
Yes, how you doing, Raiden?
On the planet.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she is. She is. Because I want everybody to make sure you stop by her place as well. She runs a very cool, calm, relaxed place that kind of gets you in touch with yourself. That sounded kind of interesting, get in touch with yourself.
So it's never a bad idea to touch yourself.
But listen, well, before we even go that far,
yes,
tell them who you are, what you do, and why when I'm talking about diseases and germs and nasty stuff, I bring you on.
So I'm Suzette, and I'm a healthcare executive. I work for a community hospital, and I oversee areas that function under risk, compliance, quality and accreditation, licensing, infection control, emergency management, all of that kind of good stuff. And so I'm kind of at the center of all the preparation that our system does to deal with this most recent pandemic.
Uh-oh, we got somebody, he's new to the family, Flemty Nice. He and I had a great conversation the other day.
Cool.
Had a great conversation. Let's see, who else is back in? Let's see, welcome to everybody. So, I want to start out by saying something that's going to be very underwhelming. Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's where I live, but I get reports on all over Brazil. Mm-hmm. I think there have been one or two giant rich academies that said, oh, we should shut down. Mm-hmm. Why is nobody in Sao Paulo wearing a mask? I think I've seen one person, yet if you go to the stores, they have sold out of masks. I have come to deduce two things. One is evidence and one is just a wild ass guess. I think that our healthcare system here, and I say our, because I'm legal in this country, is part of the reason people aren't necessarily more immune to a virus as opposed to less concerned. Because we have a healthcare system, as does every other developed nation other than the United States, which is my country where I still love and I will never give up my citizenship. If you're in Brazil, even you as a visitor, Suzette, you come down, we have a good old time, and we go see the sights, and you say, why? I feel weird. Now, if we were back in California, I would have to say, stop. What's the copay on your doctor visits? Can we get some medicine over the counter and rub it in, maybe some Robitussin and Vicks and melt it together to see if this can go away? Because I don't know if we can spend $500 on your rehabilitation or a trip to the doctor that might reveal nothing. Doesn't work that way in Brazil. In Brazil, you just go down to the local hospital. Some hospitals are big and magnificent training hospitals. Some hospitals are these small side country hospitals. But you can go to any hospital, get in line, see a doctor, get an x-ray if you need it. They can check you out. You probably got the flu, and it costs you nothing. So what if I'm living in a country where people are walking around not worried about this, not necessarily because they're Superman and Superwoman who is completely immune, but what if having a healthcare system that said, listen, if you're not feeling well, come down, we'll get you fixed up early while you can just take this tablet and go home, as opposed to late in the game like the United States where you've got to basically be coughing up your own guts.
Well, what else is there to say? Good, bad, or indifferent, American healthcare has its pluses, but one of the minuses is access, is just accessing the care they need in the way they want, right? And so when you add to that resources, which are very diverse based off of geographic area, economic support in the area, those kinds of things. So different types of providers are in distance or X distance. So there's all these factors that play a role in how people enter the healthcare system here in the States. Does that bear out in disease and pandemics? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. We don't know enough about how this particular strain evolved for us to be kind of attributing to it. I think it's still early in the game, and just like any kind of infectious disease, some populations might be more vulnerable than others. There's really no way to call it. So that's kind of, there's a lot of factors that go into it. There's very much a moving dial in that regard. But can I say no, that there are not financial considerations that people have to make when they're deciding whether to pursue care? I'd be a fool to say no.
Hey, look at this. Randy Woman says she's about to pack up and come down to Brazil.
Listen, it makes it tempting. I can't lie.
I'll tell you, I've had too many people talk to me privately and say, is it true that in a place like that, the health issue that my family and I are dealing with, we may be able to get looked at down there? And I say, yeah, it is. Well, what about the coronavirus? Why don't you guys suffer from the coronavirus? Yeah. The coronavirus is real. There are some people that have it, although I suspect this country is set up for that kind of issue because of preventative medicine. Excuse me. Because in Brazil, you can actually just go to the doctor before everything goes bad. And I think that's that turnstone issue that keeps popping up.
That does play a role, but there's also just migration. Like good, bad, or indifferent, people go from place to place. And when you're talking about an infectious disease, like even if you are in the peak of health, that just means it won't kill you. You'll still be infected. It still may get sick. You'll just recover because you're in a healthier general state, but you're still infected. Like it's airborne. You know what I mean? So it's an airborne virus. So the moment person A goes by person B and sneezes, it's a wash. So, it's about balancing kind of, some of these things that, yes, are there things that would make our populace just healthier in general? Absolutely. But not every infectious disease is going to be able to be managed by being in a good state of prime health to begin with. It depends on the disease. It depends on the virus.
You know what? I haven't had to do this in a while. I haven't had to do this in a long time, but we're gonna have to make a quick pause. Hold on, let me actually, you know what? Let me get the correct meme up before I even. It's kind of related, but not really. Where am I gonna go with this one? You know what? I'll pick this one. It's small and it's simple because our dear friend has said something that has to be addressed. Now, Rainy Woman had been practicing her Spanish. Now, you might say, well, Wateef, that's great. She's practicing her Spanish. And I say, that is great depending on where she's going because We don't speak Spanish in Brazil. No falamos português. We speak Portuguese in Brazil. Thank you, expat, for pointing that out with me. Okay, I had to get that out of my system.
I understand.
Mainly because I'm in university now for Portuguese writing and language, and I'm in the beginner level, but my teacher pulled me aside after 3 or 4 classes and said, this week they're going to bump me up 1 level to see how I survive in the next level because I have a lot of the fundamentals down.
Oh, nice.
It's a matter of vocabulary. Matter of vocabulary. But no, that's what you were saying, though, is that you won't get as sick. Well, think about it. Even if the coronavirus affects everyone equally around the world, if you come from a place where your general health was taken care of, you're going to be a lot better off than the person who may also be dealing with another issue because they can't afford it, because they live in a place where the healthcare system is this predatory animal. And I say that because for people who forget, no matter what I do now, I semi-retired at 37 from full-time work, and I did that by working as a financial professional. I can tell you, medical debt is real. Medical debt, I've seen it break families. I've seen families, have to consider whether or not they keep their house or get their medicine, and that's the
absolutely.
Whereas in Brazil, is the average Brazilian as rich as the average American? Not even. But how much of the average American's wealth? And this is expat money move, something you might want to. Matter of fact, do you want a link? Do you want to join us? Expat money moves. Do you want to join us? That's something that a lot of people don't understand. You may have to be in a situation where all that wealth goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely lost productivity and all kinds of drags on the economy as a whole here because of, 2 things. I will tell you, medical costs and student loans. Like those 2 things, like that is it. And so, yeah, there's completely a drag on the economy that comes from having this kind of system. And, we'll just see how long it continues.
Well, I forgot to mention the other thing, though, why all the masks are sold out, in my opinion.
Oh.
Masks are sold out, even though nobody's wearing them. I got a call from a buddy who still lives in China. For those who remember, I used to live in Shanghai, China, before this. He said, "What? You buy as many masks as you can. I'll pay you 5 to 1, whatever you show me the receipt is." I said, "So hold on, if I buy 100 of masks, you'll pay me 500. He said, "Yep, I'll transfer it to any account you want. Yep. And I'll pay the delivery." I said, "Well, how much are you getting on the deal?" He said, "Minimum 10 to 1 is getting better." So he can buy a box of masks, medical masks, take it to China and sell it for 10 to 1.
I mean, what do you say? Once there is as much anxiety as there is tied to this disease right now, people are going to capitalize on that. That's where the hoarding comes in. That's when this, kind of Armageddon rumored people start thinking it's like the zombie apocalypse and clearing out toilet paper and water like the third coming. It's crazy. But yeah, Rain Woman got it right. The panic hustle. So such and such running scared. They like, oh my God, I need a mask. Oh my God, but they said there's not any. And then somebody comes along and says, yeah, I got one for you. They're like, oh my gosh, how much? $28. Some people will pay it. They will pay it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a prepper. People here, if you go to my channel and type in prepper, I did one called Storm Prepper with my buddy Craig. I can't tell you that it's not a matter of waiting. You can't wait. If you're going to be a prepper, you got to have that stuff ahead of time.
There has to be prep in the prepper. One follows the other. How can you be a prepper with no prep?
I don't think they understand. I don't think they understand. But yeah, going. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna leave that up on the screen. Panic hustle.
Yeah, it is. It is an absolute hustle, absolute hustle. And I mean, that's, that's why recently there's been more and more people, trying to say, listen, the more of these masks you hoard, the harder it is for actual healthcare workers to get the masks that we need with the actual sick people. And it really got bad. Like, there were literally people on Amazon selling like N95 respirators that were like, $7 before for $48. Like, it was just crazy.
Wait, what did you call it? What?
So there are different kinds of masks, right? Now, what people think of when they really see a mask is usually a surgical mask. The one that covers the face. Usually they hook behind the ears. You see them when you watch like medical dramas. That's what you always see over the surgeon's face. Those are surgical masks, right? That's what you'll see people wearing in the airport. All that kind of good stuff. But when you're dealing with an airborne pathogen like TB or something, something like that, then you need something that has a stronger filtration. So that's where a type of a respirator called a N95 mask, and it has the ability to filter out, those particulates, right? But you have to be fitted for it because it has to fit your face and make a seal in order for it to give you any real protection.
Is that it?
Very simple. Yes, that's what they are, right? So this is what we use in the hospital. We fit test, health nurses and any providers that, or anyone that will use this in case we have a patient that has some kind of airborne disease like tuberculosis. So if they have this on, they're able to give care because they're able to enter that space and their respirations are completely sealed and fitted to their face. So it's very important to have it and to have access to it, especially if you think you're going to be dealing with a bunch of people who might have something that is spread through the air. But what was happening is because of the panic and fear, people are like, oh, that's the real mask. And so they started hoarding these. Well, the problem is that the more that people were hoarding and pulling them out the market, the harder it was for hospitals to buy them. So vendors could not provide them as fast. And so it just became this negative feedback loop of more demand was happening than, ever expected, because we only have X amount of hospital beds in America. Like, it's not like you're seeing huge surges in these kinds of supplies. It tends to be kind of steady. But then all of a sudden you have this whole new pressure hit the supply chain. And from there, it just spirals.
Well, here's the other thing. It's like, people need to be cautious in what I would call common sense ways. I want to run a few things by you that I read, that I saw, that seemed like it's a little simple, but there were a bunch of doctors on YouTube and a bunch of doctors that I follow for different reasons on Twitter, and they all came with a message that basically boiled down to, if you wash your damn hands, most of these problems would go away. Like, they were telling adults, wash your hands. And hand sanitizer is not an alternative. It's a backup measure in case you're someplace in the middle of the woods and you can't wash your hands. Exactly. But you don't go into your bag, pull out your hand sanitizer before you eat, instead of just walking to the bathroom. Soap and wash your hands every time you eat, and anytime you do anything, you just get up and walk somewhere. Oh, I got to go to the printer in the office. Let me go wash my hands. Oh, well, you know what? I just went to the other guy's office to check with him about a piece of paper. I'm going to go wash my hands. If you just did that, we wouldn't have as many problems as we do now.
Listen, if people knew how much disease and pestilence they could avoid by doing two things. I mean, I swear to you, I feel like 95% of the world's diseases, if people did two things, coughed or sneezed into their friggin' elbow and washed their damn hands. You do not understand. You do not understand. You do not understand how people will dibble their hands in some water and
hold on.
Washing their hands.
Can you give everybody a breakdown on the correct way to wash hands? I'm going to give you a close-up on this.
Okay. So, hand hygiene. What I like to tell people is, think of a short song. Like I used to do Drake's that Kiki's thing, but also the chorus from Kiss works. It to pace yourself so that you'd wash your hands long enough for the germs and the disease to go away. So this is what you do: you turn on the water. Yes, turn on the water first. Then you add the soap. Please be generous with the soap. Then you proceed to rub because it's about friction. So you're trying to create enough friction between the soap to break the bonds so that you're literally scraping the dirt off your skin. Think of it like that. So as you're washing, first thing you do the palms, you do the back of your hands, you do under your fingernails, you're doing in between your fingers, you're rubbing to the wrist. You're doing this whole thing. You're covering all surfaces and you're rubbing and you're rubbing and you're rubbing, and add more soap if you need to. And then you rinse off. You rinse. You use whatever towel and paper towel or hand towel, whatever you do to dry your hands, and then you turn off the water. Okay. So that way your hands are not touching back the surface. You're not recontaminating your hands. Okay.
Well, let me ask you.
And it has to be, this is the kicker. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. So, like I said, it could be as simple as Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? You never ever leave. And you just sing it out 2-3 times. And that's how you remember. Or do the lyric of your favorite song. I used to love Kiss. You don't have to be rich. Like that was my little section right there, until the Kiss. And that's how I knew that 20 seconds had gone. So whatever little song jingle that you need, like just get yourself used to that. And you'll be surprised how it becomes habit, just second nature to follow a pathway of your palms and the back, then between your hands, under your nails. You just fall into the rhythm. And that's how you
read that.
Oh yeah, H1N1. Yep, easily controlled. I'm telling you. If sneeze into your elbow and wash your hands, 90% of the world's disease and pestilence.
And the best part? I'm going to connect this with being a prepper from before. Mm-hmm. A lot of preppers, people who don't really know the heart of prepping, they think about guns and knives. Those are fun. Let me tell you what being a prepper taught me. Do you know? And I want your professional opinion. Is dollar store soap just as effective as the expensive soap?
Say that again?
Is dollar store soap just as effective in cleaning the junk off my hands as expensive soap?
Yeah. Yeah. You're really paying for fragrance, you're paying for softness. So because you could use lye soap, but it'll burn away and it's caustic and shit. Nobody wants to wash with that. But the object of it is to have soap. It just needs to be soap. Just plain old soap.
Let me tell you something. This dollar store is one of my dollar stores.
It don't matter if it's dial. It don't matter if it's whatever. Some soaps will have like stronger disinfectants, right? So if you like that feel, you want it to really feel clean, then get something with a stronger disinfectant. But for the most part, soap is soap.
Now look at that. You get there 3 for $1 of these discount dial bars they had. But here's my thing. I'll buy the dollar store soap and just make it up with volume. Just be washing 5-6 times a day.
Hey,
throw something into your perfect wagon. I don't know why people.
Yeah, like soap is soap. You're really, like I said, you're picking for, because there is different caliber of soap. Some stuff adds all kinds of nice nutrients and smooth stuff, and you could smell like lilies and sunshine, whatever. So, but if you're just talking about will it get your hands clean, it just needs to be soap.
Hey, World Nomad 101, what's up? Glad to have you around. Thank you for showing up. By the way, have you guys, and I don't know if I think, Suzette, this is something I talked to you about when I shared that. Let me go into my World Nomad. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if a few other people have seen it, but let's see if I can click this button here. Excuse me. But I started my Patreon after a lot of encouragement, after a lot of people have told me that the information I'm giving, I really need to organize it and put it out there in a way that gives people the opportunity to get more, because the Patreon pages are basically levels of instruction, and I get in, I go deep, and I got 3 different levels. I hope everybody takes a chance to go take a look at it. In 4 days, I've had 3 patrons. Looks like I've been averaging 1 a day. My personal goal is to see when I can get to my first 12. But I want everybody to take a chance and go to Patreon, take a look at it. BK from the Rockies. Late to the party, but I'm glad he's here. Oh, World Nomad, I forgot that's Howard Cooper. And yeah, that's. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys HC Cooper Fitness. He's someone that, I'm never really jealous of many people, but I used to live in Hawaii, so I know what I'm missing. So everybody, I want you guys to check out Howard Cooper on IG. He and I are going to have a conversation about fitness, because I have a new training coach out here, and I'm going to have him look over a few of the different guidelines that I've been receiving and things like that. The only bad workout is the one that didn't happen. Amen. No problem. Teamwork. So besides, when you say cough into your elbow, you mean like this? Okay. So cough into your elbow. So does that mean I got to wash all the way up to my elbow?
You should.
Okay. Okay. Now, São Paulo culturally, we have a 2-shower-a-day culture here.
Oh, so you're good to go.
Yeah. You do 1, and then you do minimum 1 after that, because it's São Paulo is one of those places where it can rain a little bit and it can be warm a little bit, and there's nothing worse than getting back in after a day of work and you got that warm rain sweat. So before you go back out for the evening, you gotta
freshen up.
So I was hoping for more. You only gave me 2 things. You're like, wash your hands up to your elbow using some soap, cough into your elbow.
Respiratory hygiene. Don't call phone people. Wash your hands. Like, that's it.
So here's the psychology that I want to explore.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone do that?
Honestly, I think it is. It's very behavioral. It's a habit. And you make it a habit, but at first you're very conscious about it until it doesn't become conscious. But a lot of people don't do the work to make it a habit. So, like, for example, it is a habit for me. Like, I will wash my hands even when I haven't gone to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so ingrained in me that it's like Pavlov's dog. If I walk near a bathroom or near a sink, my first instinct is to wash my hands. Dip my hands in it every time I see it. Even if my hands are already clean, like, I will go from hand sanitizer to washing my hands and then be like, oh shit.
Look at what I was just said in one of my private groups. Cancel everything. Social distancing is the only way to stop the coronavirus. We must start immediately.
Let me tell you. So I saw this meme that spoke to my introvert soul, when it said something like, CDC says, the best way is to stay self-quarantine and stay at home and avoid people. And underward, it says, introverts say, yes, this is my time. Like, I was praying. I was like, please, because they were talking for a time of just automatically making people stay home. And all I could think of was, oh God, please send me home for a 14-day quarantine, please, or I won't have to see people.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it would have been heaven. Like, I wouldn't have known what to do with myself. So
I can't believe you. You're talking like, I want to go home.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so awesome. So, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, there is this idea that, oh my gosh, you got to be separate. But I'm like, yeah, disease is like, people spread disease. That's what they do. They're kind of good at it. I don't know what to tell you.
You know what? I'm going to get, I hope that, let me go here. Hold on a second. Check that out.
Yep. There you
Read that
go.
for us.
That yeah, is the same is in true in the Caribbean too. It's true
Actually,
in the
people in
Caribbean
Brazil
too.
have to thank native Brazilians, indigenous people for our hygiene habits, the fact that we shower. Oh, so often it's because of
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So watch this. I'm gonna throw a little hot sauce out here. I want to
Oh,
give. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. All right, reigning woman. I'm gonna give you a reason to learn Portuguese so you can understand this.
oh my goodness, this can't be good.
Whoever can
All I
tell
know
me.
is, all I know is immune system of the something. Yeah, all I know.
So there's a reason to start learning Portuguese. So when you come to Brazil, reigning woman, you can just pull this up on your phone and say, "Look."
Speaking of immune system though, like the other part that I just find so ironic, right, is that there's all these people running around grabbing masks and Clorox and toilet paper and water and all this craziness, right? And yet, the flu kills more, the regular seasonal flu
Good old
kills
fashioned
more
flu.
people than we have had. And I'm like, but you won't get a vaccine. But you'll like stock up like it's the Armageddon on Purell. Like, I don't.
Oh, but wait a minute. Hold on. I want to know. I think that, and this is just because I'm a horrible human being. If you are an anti-vaxxer or a vaccine denier, you should not legally be able to own any kind of mask. You should not be able to own any hand sanitizer. You and your whole team.
You should be left bare. Left bare. You want to be natural? Be natural.
All natural, balls deep. Show us your conviction. Yes. Show me your conviction. Yes. I want one of those anti-vaxxers to be like, you know what? Fuck those masks. And,
listen.
And just when you greet each other, y'all just lick each other's tongues. Just, No, better than that. You all lick the same spot on the wall when you go to your meetings together.
Yeah, I can't. It makes my hair straight. I can't.
My hair is straight.
Oh, I just can't do it.
I don't understand.
It just boggles my mind. I mean, like, we've had more deaths from the flu in just this season alone than what's like worldwide in Corona right now. I don't understand it. I don't. But people, they just be doing stuff. That's probably why they're so good at spreading disease and pestilence. They just be doing stuff.
Speaking of stuff to do, I guess I forgot to tell people that besides being this, really awesome and well-known medical person, tell them about this stuff.
Oh, yes, Ephemidus. Yeah, so I am the owner of Ephemidus. It is a luxurious portal to increase the participation of Black people in the BDSM space, including media representation, content, products, events, workshops, education series, all that good stuff. Relationship support, individual and couple coaching, kink coaching, consulting, all of that good stuff.
So wait a minute. Does this mean we have something to talk about on my private Patreon page where they can't throw us off?
Oh my God, we just might.
Girls, we just might.
We just might.
So yeah, we're gonna have to have that luxurious discussion on your luxury brand here, so we can talk about it openly.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't want to keep everybody up too late tonight. I just really wanted to share those two aspects. One, of course, what you brought to the table. If we're just clean, if you just wash your hands and cough them to your elbow, you will stop a lot of people from getting sick. And I want people to really consider that now you may because just before we leave, I want to be clear. Italy is closed.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not have caught up on this part yet.
No.
Italy is completely on lockdown. Every credible source you can find will tell you that right now you cannot go in or out of Italy. All of it, not some places, not some. We have an entire country under quarantine. My goodness. My goodness. Y'all talk about train to Busan, it's going to be train to Rome. But when we look at that, it's not hard to prevent these things from killing us as a people. If we all just take that community healthcare seriously, because it might be you, it might be someone, no one cares until it's their elderly grandmother, a great auntie, a great granddad, a great uncle that gets sick with that flu that could have been prevented. But when you're young and healthy, that flu is not a big deal. But when you're older, it could be game over.
Yeah.
And that's a sad thing. Nobody wants to listen until it happens to somebody they love.
Exactly. And it's a shame that that's what we, devolved to. But it's, immunity is a group effort. Like that is kind of what has to happen, that the healthy of us take it on so that the weakest of us who can't have a fighting chance. You know what I mean? Like that's the part where I think they miss the understanding of it. Like, the vaccination is not to protect us. It's not. It's to protect the people who physically can't, the babies, the old people, the pregnant people, it's not for us. Like it's a tax we pay for sharing a communal space. Like it's like your dues, your rent. You should be contributing to the immunity of the group. But this is where we are with people fighting science.
Friend of yours?
The Windy City Navy? Is that Suzette? Anthony? Which Anthony? Let's see. I know one Anthony Chicago. We'll see.
Well, hey, Windy City native, listen. No matter who you are, where you are, make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell button. But I'll be happy if everybody just click the subscribe button. We're going to roll out for now. I wanted to give everybody a quick little insight onto what an actual healthcare professional is going to say about this, which is amazingly a lot like common sense you got when you were growing up about just staying clean. You want to give any parting shots?
Wash, vaccinate. Thank you much.
Watch and vaccinate. Well, I say that to say that she and I are going to stay backstage and plot our little Patreon get together. Oh wait, BK from the Rockies made it a point to put that up there as well. Yeah, she and I are going to plot our little Patreon get together, and the rest of y'all are going to have to just watch for the updates. I'll make sure to send the commercial. Talk to y'all later.